America gets. We will never stop hunting and fishing. This is the Hunting Quest. We take 1 hour of every week and talk about our favorite things in the world, hunting and fishing. You'll get tips and help on the fishing environment locally in the DMV area. Plus, we're going to have fun along the way. This is the Hunting Quest. And now your host, Mike Tippin and Bennett Malin.
Yeehaw, space cowgirl. I'm going to try to find like a new opener and just say something stupid every week until somebody says something about it.
That was pretty stupid. It's gonna be hard to top that.
You'd be
It's
amazed.
okay. No, I won't.
Yeah,
I just realized
yeah.
what I said and who I said it to.
Yeah, that sounded like a challenge, Mike.
Yeah, that's not. I really don't. Nope.
So what's going on, man?
It has been a busy day. Been a busy week, but especially a busy day today. So
Yep.
we're a little late.
Yeah, today was my first day back at work this week, and I decided to eat some questionable leftovers out of the fridge. Surprise, made me sick. So I got back to work this morning. So I spent all day Monday and Tuesday sick. Go back to work today, still kind of feeling like shit. Get to work this morning, sat through first meeting, go back to my desk, checking emails and stuff. Nose starts bleeding. I'm like, what the hell? My boss comes out and she's like, "Are you dying?" And I was like, "I might be. I don't know." Like, I'm not entirely sure.
You got Ebola or something.
Yeah.
Jesus
She's like,
Christ.
"Are you going to like drop dead on us?" And I was like, "I hope so." She was like, "Don't say that." I was like, "Right. I forgot. That's not funny." Okay. Yep. Got it. So yeah, it was a great day. Super fun.
Yeah. Well, our not sponsored sponsor right there.
The old Diet Dr. Thunder, dude.
Yeah. Where's Baxter when we need him?
That's what I'm saying. Where's that sponsorship? We need to get going on that.
I'm telling you.
Worst they can say is no.
Exactly. I'm good with that.
What are they going to do? No. Okay.
Sponsored to you by Dr. Thunder.
That'd be sick.
But yeah, so you sound like you had the week too, and I had to get new glasses.
I saw that.
Fuck, they're terrible. I say that. I say that with as much love as I could possibly say that, but I've never. Yeah, they're rough. It's going to take some getting used to.
Oh man, they're great.
Fuck you. I do like them though. As you know, I've worn glasses before. I mean, you've seen me trying to duck hunt without glasses, and it doesn't work so well. But I've worn glasses before, but these are progressive lenses.
So, yeah, you got to get used to.
Yeah,
you're looking through the glass. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I was walking around with those things on, and I'm like, yeah, nope.
So everybody, like the first time they wear them, they're like,
"Oh, it's terrible."
I'm
I'm pushing them down my nose. Like, yeah,
where am I supposed to be looking?
Yep. And but I don't know. I think they'll be okay. I noticed when I'm like looking at my phone, I don't need the grandpa texting anymore. So that's kind of cool. I can change them back.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The old pappy text,
Old pappy text. Oh, Jesus.
And then Allie's had a rough couple of days, so we're getting through that. Other than that, yeah, it's been a week. Found out that Princess Anne wildlife management area their quota draw is an absolute effing joke.
Did you ever?
I did.
Did you talk to them?
They never called me back.
Oh, okay.
They never sent me an email back either. I've sent them an email. I've sent them a call. I've called them. No call, no return call, no return email. Nothing.
Tight.
So yeah. So for those of you who want to put in for a quota hunt to Princess Anne down in Virginia Beach, if you live next door to the place, great, go do it. If you don't live next door to the place, and you're not in with the folks, don't bother. It is that is the true definition of a good old boy network, and You pay to be a part of this quota draw, and there's what, 41 blinds?
Yeah, I think there's 40 something.
Yeah, and the lowest number, and then you pay to get in on all these hunts that you can hunt, and they say, hey, guess what? You drew. Congratulations. It's awesome. And then they give you another piece of paper with your numbers on it. There's a different number for every single day that you can hunt. And that number equates to the number of when you can go and hunt. Like, you sign up, you go down there, you put your name on the list, and when they start at number 1 and they go to 41. And then if nobody's there for 41, then they go to the next 42, 43, 44, whatever, until all of the blinds are gone. So if you go down there, let's say, I don't know, like opening day of the first, of the split, and you're number 49 and there's 41 blinds and you drive 6.5 hours down there, you're probably not going to get selected.
That's the stupidest goddamn thing. Dude, I hate Virginia so much.
If they could have screwed up anything more, I don't know how.
That makes no sense to me.
I did not get selected for Hog Island.
Nice.
And then I found out that there's a guy at Princess Anne that has number 1 for every single day. You tell me how the hell that happens.
Yeah, it's the old buddy system there.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. I really love to see it. The Virginia state taxpayer dollars going to corrupt bullshit.
Yep. And quota draw money.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Quota draw money. You have to pay to be in the quota. $7.50 each. Yeah,
that's wild. I mean, so Missouri does a similar thing, but it's not on a draw quota hunt. Like, right. Yeah, you still have to, the Missouri public land places, you still have to show up. You do your draw in the morning, and same thing, they hunt 40 spots, whatever it is. And there may be some days that 10 people show up, or, 10 groups show up, or other days there may be 900 groups. You never know.
Sure.
But if you can also put in for they call it the lottery. And all that gets you is if you win that gets you draw first. So they put pills in a box. Well, now it's all computer, but if you win the draw, you're guaranteed to hunt. You may hunt the 40th spot, but you are guaranteed a spot to hunt.
All right. I like that.
This is just like, yeah, cool, dude. You won the quota. You can show up and still try to maybe hunt, but probably not. You can
still sit down with the draw. I mean,
yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No. And I guess the only thing that really does do, I mean, one of my numbers was 596.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Or you show up and you're like, I mean, they're never going to get to 596.
No.
It's just not going to happen unless nobody shows up. Well,
right.
My guess is if you've had 596 people who applied, I mean, there's got to be that many people who applied to hunt that day, right?
Or else they wouldn't think so.
They wouldn't have gone that far out with numbers. So out of 596 other people.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, I'm just completely mind blown at the thought process behind that.
Yeah.
Because at that point, because they also, if they don't fill the 41 slots, then they go to whoever showed up who also has a number.
Yep.
And then if you don't have a number, you can also be selected then.
After everybody with the number has been drawn.
Right.
Yep.
So at that point, why would you even put in for the quota hunt? It's all down to how many people show up that day and if you can draw in. So why pay for the quota?
There you go.
Just show up. It's the same odds of hunting.
Right. 100%.
It's the stupidest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. Unless you're one of the ones that get 1 through 41.
Right.
Guaranteed hunt. Yeah. That's it. And even that's not a guarantee because a lot of times you can't get to the blinds.
Yeah.
There's not enough water.
No, that's pretty cool.
Ooh.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
Go Team Virginia.
Yeah, they really screwed that one up.
No, I mean that's pretty on par with the East Coast and their brilliant conservation agencies out here.
Man,
I mean, I
get it.
also got spoiled growing up in Missouri, who has arguably the best conservation department in this country.
I would say the same. I would say that between Missouri, I think Louisiana does a really good job.
Yep.
I think that I would have said New Mexico does an okay job, but I'm kind of not so sold there. But Alaska definitely does a remarkable job considering the space that they have to cover.
Right.
So yeah, I would definitely put Missouri in the top 3 for sure, if not the only second to Alaska, really.
Yeah.
And they've got some monster bucks out there. They got some great waterfowl hunting. They've got amazing turkeys.
I got a video I got to send you after the podcast.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna not talk about it right now, but
okay.
We'll talk about it when we get done.
Okay. All right. Not for public consumption.
That's
good
right. Yeah, I don't need anybody to know my secrets, you know.
Shades of a turkey hunter that we know that's out in central Virginia that likes to keep his turkey secrets.
He hunts in Scandinavia, dude. I heard he's flying to Moscow next spring.
I heard. I wouldn't put it past him. I really wouldn't put it past him. So, but we did get some duck hunting in.
I got a lot of hunting in the last week.
Yeah.
I fucking wore out from it, but I'd do it again. So we hunted all 4 days. Well, I hunted all 4 days. You hunted 3 of the 4 days with me.
Yep.
For the first split, Virginia duck season. Fun fact, I swear to God, Virginia's website said that their Veteran Day hunt for duck season was November 2nd and February 8th, I think.
Yeah, we had this conversation.
Yeah. The Virginia Veteran Hunting Days for waterfowl is October 26th.
Yep.
And February 8th.
Yep.
I would have swore on my life that it was November 2nd because I had already looked at it because I will be out of town.
Yep.
And Doug sent me a text yesterday and was like, hey, are we going hunting Saturday? I was like, for what? No, I'm not hunting Saturday. He's like, oh, I thought you wanted to do the veteran hunt. I was like, no, dude, the veteran hunt's the following weekend. He's like, no, it's not. It's 26th. Sends me the picture of it. And I was like, huh?
I told you.
I was like, nah, that ain't right. Something don't make sense here.
Well,
but
and that's so I will say, I have seen it to where let's go back and look at how the Virginia wildlife does things that I don't necessarily agree with, but you'll see on their website, you'll see one thing, right? If you go to their mobile website, you'll see something completely different. Yep. So I'm obviously, in a conservation, if a warden comes up to you or conservation officer comes up to you and you're out veteran hunting on the day that the mobile site says you can be there, great. But if you're out there and it's not on the mobile site and you can't prove it, you're getting that ticket and then you're going to have to take time off to go to court and fight the ticket and all that stuff. And I don't think I'm ever down with crap like that, but
no,
they got to do better.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. That's been a couple years in a row.
Yep.
That they've done that.
Yep.
Because I remember the one year we were like, screw it, we're going to hunt.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Here's your website says this, and then the following weekend, cool, here's your mobile app that says this.
Yeah.
Give me a ticket for it.
Right. Figure it out, man. Come on.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But I don't know that this weekend would be worth hunting anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of okay with not going still. I don't know if anybody's paid attention to the weather, but up here in Maryland where I live, it was 82 degrees today.
Yep.
Which are kind of less than ideal duck hunting conditions.
No.
The only thing I will say that I will look at tonight is if Canada Goose is open during the veteran hunt day. Sometimes they do that where they throw in and allow everything for that one day.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I will absolutely be going to the middle blind with 18 full-bodied floatered Canada geese and smash the shit out of those stupid resident Canada geese coming off the golf course.
Oh, man. Yeah, they were pretty ugly the other day.
Oh, God. Those birds light a freaking fire inside of me. I don't know why. They make me so goddamn mad. Just existing. Oh, God, they piss me off.
Well, Oslo likes them. So,
that's why I hunt, man.
Yeah, to feed my dog.
To feed Mikey's epileptic dog. It's for a good cause, dude.
It does, yeah. We're down for a good cause. We are always down for a good cause.
I should try to. My supervisor would kill me. Try to spin that into a bullet for my yearly.
Oh, I'm all in.
Performance review.
I'm all in.
I'm sure I could do some kind of like community service bullet that I was provided food for
needy dogs.
Yeah,
a medically disadvantaged dog.
Yeah, I could spend that.
I'm sure you could.
Dude, my leadership would be like, "What in the hell is this even talking about?" Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just accept it for what it is and move on.
I'll work on that. I'll work you up a bullet for that.
That'd
Trust
be
me.
Funny as shit.
I've written some. I don't know. You go look at some of my past bullets, and
that's the best part. Is you read them and you're like, "What the hell does this even mean?"
Yep.
Like it sounds really cool, but like,
yeah. How did they do that? How does that work?
Or you write it up and it's like, holy shit, dude! It sounds like this dude saved the freaking country,
right? And
it's like, okay, so what does this actually mean? What did you do? And he's like, I took the trash out, but there's 60 people in my office.
Right. I'm saving one epileptic dog at a time.
Yeah. Volunteering my time for, that'd be.
We could come up with something for sure.
Oh yeah, I could spin it. But so first split, we ended up. What did we end up with? We killed a bird every day.
Yeah,
which was good.
Yeah,
we didn't have the crazy numbers, but Friday we got a mallard.
Yep,
and a nice mallard at that. It was a
sure
good looking drake.
I would agree.
What?
It's a hell of a shot too.
I'm sorry.
I said it was a hell of a shot too.
Yeah, it was a good shot. Saturday. What did we shoot Saturday? Saturday we shot a pintail.
Yep.
Probably one of the ugliest unmolted drakes I've ever seen in my life, but it was a drake pintail in October in Virginia, so I'll take it. I take that back. Sunday we didn't kill a bird. Should have.
Oh God, yeah,
but didn't. And then Monday Benny kind of went on a killing spree. And what did I shot a wood duck, a hen bluebill, which was bizarre, and a coot, because
sure.
I'm not passing the opportunity to shoot a coot. Duh.
I will say, I need to bring that one back to you too whenever you get done. But keep going.
What?
So I told you I was buying some new decoys. Yeah, I really like those heydays that they came out with. And I can't remember if it was Heyday or if it was Dakota or who it was, but they legitimately have coot decoys.
Oh yeah, dude! All the manufacturers make them.
Why,
dude? You can get like Avian X coot decoys.
Yeah, no, it's terrible,
dude. Wait till we hunt the hot water blind this year. I'm throwing like 8 dozen fucking coot floaters.
No,
it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be like 24 canvasbacks.
Yeah,
and then just cover every other coot decoy we have. Travis has Jesus like Christ. 8 dozen coot decoys at his house, or at Lindsay's house. I'm covering that inlet in coot decoys. It's gonna look insane.
All right.
It's gonna be
Well,
tight. It's gonna be so sick.
And the other thing that I was actually kind of excited about was I think the boat did pretty good.
The boat did great. We had to fight the tide a little bit.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a big, heavy boat, and there's a lot of grass right now.
There is.
And we're hunting super blowout tide with no rain. And yeah, I mean, that happens.
Well, I was surprised. I still think the kayak was a great idea.
Yeah, the kayak made it. I think the kayak's definitely a lifesaver back there for trying to get, like, if you sailed a bird,
yep,
you're not getting it in the boat.
Yep.
There's no way.
Right.
But I mean, it's the same difference if you had a dog or if you had a kayak.
Yep.
We didn't have a dog, bring a kayak.
Sure. But I thought it was cool.
No, it definitely played out well.
Yeah, I was excited about it. I really was. I don't know. I just thought it was different. We could get a kayak on the boat. We could get what do we have? 4 or 5 people in the boat at one time.
Yeah, I think the most we had was 4.
Right. And a bunch of decoys, and we did good.
Yeah. No, the boat did great. I mean, that's a nice part about having a fucking big ass boat.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I think War Eagle did well with that one. There's parts of it that I thought I didn't like. But honestly had nothing to do with War Eagle. It had everything to do with the manufacturer. The sales group.
Yeah.
They like all of the cabling to the console. There's no tension relief at all.
Yeah. No, that's what you want.
Yeah. No. So, I think if I've got a big honeydew list, I got part of my garage built for the boat, so that helped. But part of my honeydew list, if I can get some of that stuff knocked out and spend a little bit of time with Al this weekend, I may work on rewiring the boat, putting in another battery, and have a house battery, and then a light battery, and then I want to put some rigid lights on the back. Those little rigid A lights. I really like those. And the thing that I really wanted out of it was, if you think about it, when we were throwing decoys, we have the lights in the front. I still want to put another one in the front, like in the middle, because those two lights kind of push off to the sides.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to put a light in the middle, big bar light with like flood and spot mixed.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to put a light down the side, like a tube light down the outside of the boat. And that way, when you're throwing decoys out, you can see where they're at, or you can, all right, I need one right here. Cool. And you've got enough light to see what you're throwing into.
Yeah.
And you turn that on, and you've got the light inside the boat so you can see where you're stepping, and you can see the light outside the boat so you can see where you're throwing.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I think that's going to be the way to. That's the move, I think.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, more lights always better when you're setting decoys.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. And we've got, I don't know, it was a cool setup. I don't think we really had too much. I didn't see any major problems or anything with it, so that was cool.
Yeah, no, everything worked kind of the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Which
couple of little hiccups, but other than that.
For the first time duck hunting out of that boat, I think it went pretty well.
Yeah.
You're always gonna find a few gremlins.
Yeah. And I don't, I don't think that I think that if we went out and, that's the other thing. I'm going to get rid of that damn pole light on the back.
Yeah.
The transom light.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put a different light on. It's, they got a bar light, and it has kind of blacks out from where you're at. So you're not getting blinded by that round light sitting over there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about that. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah, because that thing was bright as shit.
Yeah. And I get it. You're supposed to have it on, and, you're supposed to have it up and on so people can see you. And I get it. I understand why you've got to have it, but God almighty, it kills your night vision 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it completely kills it.
So, But we'll see how it goes.
Little things, easy
Yeah.
things to fix.
Yeah. But it was fun. Good way to work out some bugs. But and then what else was it? Oh, I've got to build a I got to build a website. So you and I are going to be working on building a website for somebody.
Oh, great. Yay.
It's Joey.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, we have to.
Yeah, easy enough.
I was going to build it, and then I ran out of time because of all the other stuff that's been going on in the world. And so then I gave it to somebody else, and then they flaked on me. So I was like, all right, well, we'll get it, and Benny and I'll build a website. So
Easy enough.
yay.
Yay. I'm so excited.
Yeah. But you got some other hunting then too, didn't you?
Yeah. So I got invited on a urban archery deer hunt in Virginia, which was first time ever doing that in the urban setting.
A little different.
A lot different. It was a lot different. Parked in a cul-de-sac and walked in, climbed up in a tree stand. And you know how like the first time you go somewhere, especially if it's dark, it feels like it's way further away.
Yeah, always.
I mean, it felt like we had hiked like way back into the woods, right? I'm sitting there and getting my stand. I'm looking around and sun's kind of starting to come up. I just happened to turn around and I was like, oh, I'm like 90 yards from this guy's house. I was like, oh, this is weird. Like it was his backyard and then the tree line started and I was like 20 yards inside the tree line. And I'm just like,
Now he knew you were there, right?
Oh, yeah. They complete permission through the HOA, all the, landowners there, because it's, they owned the property line ran up into like the wood line, and then it's kind of like common ground that's owned by the HOA where we were. So, we're all good on permission and everything. They knew we're there, and they've talked to my buddy before, and but still just like, this is weird.
Yep.
And especially like growing up hunting on where I grew up hunting, that's all like dedicated deer hunting property.
Yep.
Right? Like it is purpose, I guess, built, you lay out food plots, build ponds, build, everything. And it's purpose built for deer hunting.
Sure.
And then here I am just like sitting in this guy's backyard because the deer are coming in to eat his flowers and they don't like that they come in to eat their flowers.
Oh,
and it's
Lord.
like, okay, this is it's a little different. And then, but I mean, yeah, it's a lot different. And then I don't remember when it was, last year or 2 years ago, when I broke my shoulder. I ended up selling my compound bow because imagine breaking a shoulder blade makes it really painful to draw back a 70-pound compound bow.
Sure.
So Mikey was gracious enough to let me borrow his Raven.
Not mine. No.
Yeah, Allie's.
Allie's Raven.
Mikey was nice enough to let me borrow Allie's Raven. So generous of him.
Right.
But and which one? It's the R29, right?
Yep.
So, we got that. I took it over to Farron at Hoffman Archery. He got new strings on it and everything. Looked over the arrows for me. Looked over the broadheads, everything, and shot it a little bit, and it was flying straight. I wasn't a huge fan of some of the broadheads that were in there. So I ended up I had a pack of the G5 Mega Meats, and they're they're 3-blade, 100-grain broadheads. But everything I had seen, I had never shot a deer with one, but everything I had seen was that they were absolutely devastating broadheads. And so I was like, well, I'll use those, and use the little practice tip for it, and the arrow flew straight, and I was like, all right, well, cool, that's the one I'm going to rock. And there's a couple nice bucks on trail camera down there, and it was one of those, I don't know, shooting does, unless it's like I'm going out intentionally to shoot a doe, every time I see one, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I could,
Right.
but then all the hard work starts.
Yep.
Then I have to get down, and then I have to gut it, and then I have to drag it back to the truck,
Right.
and then I got to take it somewhere. I got to do stuff with it. I'm like,
Is it really
Yeah.
worth it?
And I'm sitting there. I'm like, she's just minding her own business. She's walking through, eating acorns, and all of a sudden the wind shifted, and I went, oh shit. And I watch her. She's eating acorns, and she stops and picks her head up, and she's like looking around. And I was like, oh yeah, there she is. She smells me now. And it was the funniest thing. She couldn't see me, but
Right.
she knew I was there.
Sure.
And I watched her, they lick their nose and stuff to get it wet so they can smell better. And I'm watching her just throw her head straight up in the air, like looking around in the trees. And I was like, she knows I'm here. But she like looked at me like once or twice.
Sure.
Then she'd turn her head and look at another tree. And then she'd look up in the tree straight above her. Like, she knows I'm above her, but she doesn't know where. And I was still kind of like, I don't really want to, I don't know. I don't feel like messing with this and doing all this work and stuff. And she's not hurting anything. And then she started stomping.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
I was like, don't do that.
Yeah, that's a bad move.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it's a bad move on your part.
That's always the, if they blow, they got to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I don't care what it is.
Right.
If it blows, it's done. I ain't playing that game. And, of course, so she blew finally. And I was texting my buddy, and I was like, yep, this doe's get shot. And he's like, all right. He's like, yeah. He's like, shoot all of them. I don't care. He's like, this HOA wants every single one of them gone.
They want them all gone. I get you.
He's like, you can shoot all of them. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Okay. I was like, well, I'm going to shoot this one. It's a nice mature doe. He's like, all right, man. And so now begins the cat and mouse game of she's looking one way behind a tree, and I move like half an inch. She sticks her head back out. I'm like, fuck. So I'm just sitting there waiting. I finally get the bow up, click the safety off, put the crosshair right behind her shoulder, and I'm just waiting for her to move, take a couple more steps out. And she turns and starts walking away. And I was like, all
right.
I was like, perfect. Problem solved. Put the safety back on, put the crossbow back across my lap. Like, sweet, cool. Don't have to deal with this. This is
Lives
great.
another day.
And then she blew and came walking right back in. So she blew again, came walking back, got the bow up while she was behind the tree. She came out to like 27. I think I hit her at like 27 yards. Perfectly broadside, not moving. And I was like, yeah, you're getting it. Pull the trigger on that raven, and God damn, I forgot how fast those things are.
Yep.
Shooting a target does not do it justice to there. It's just different when you're in the woods shooting something with it. I mean, it just thunk.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that hit hard.
Yep.
And she ran, I think she ran like 10 yards and face planted. And I was like, huh, okay. That worked. Of course, then she jumped up and ran like another 10 yards. And that second time when she popped up, I was like, oh, no, this isn't good. Because I'm like 20 yards from these people's backyard. I'm like, I do not want this deer to run out into somebody's backyard and die. I'm going to freaking lose it. And thankfully, she didn't. She turned and kind of ran deeper into the woods, and she ran another 10 yards and fell over.
So I had to look it up to make sure I was right. And according to what Raven's website says, it's the R29 is 430 feet per second.
Yeah, that's screaming. I mean, what's a fast compound bow? Like 320 something? And
they said here, for comparison, that's 100 feet per second faster than a standard compound bow.
Yeah.
So 330 feet per second from a standard compound bow.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I don't know if that was an R20, if it was an R29 or R29X. I can't ever remember which one she's got, but the R29X is 450 feet per second.
Yeah, I think hers is the 29.
Yeah, could be.
The 29X just came out like last year or something, or 2 years ago maybe.
Yeah, and then and I've got I shoot the R10, which is like their first gen.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about, you using that one, but given all the weight that you were having to carry in, that R29 is remarkably light.
Yeah,
And
it is super light.
if you can get past that damn hand, that hand grip, it's great. That and the safety sitting up here on your shoulder.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was kind of weird.
I hate it. I hate that.
That's the only thing I wasn't a real big fan of, was that safety. But I mean, it's not that bad. It's just more movement.
It is.
Which, when you have a deer within bow range, movement is the one thing you do not
don't
want to be
want.
doing.
Yeah.
So to take your hand from in front and move it back here to to look down, click a safety, and then look back forward and put your hand back in front.
Right.
Is a lot of goddamn movement.
Yeah. I never understood that. And I think it's the one downside to the way they built that bow. I think if there's a knock on that bow, that's it.
Yeah.
And if you go back and you look at like the R10, again, I love my R10. I wouldn't trade that for anything. I think it's, I like it better than most rifles.
Yeah.
So the safety is perfect. It kind of sits a little bit further back up by, it is, instead of just being right where your thumb is at, and your trigger, it does sit a little bit further back, which I think is okay. I like that because you're not going to accidentally bump it.
Yeah.
You're not going to have you're not going to have that. It sits right where that draw pulls the string back and clicks in.
Yep.
So I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. I like that. I can deal with that way easier.
Right.
So
yeah,
but that R10 is amazing. The R29 is even better. So
that R29 is fucking wicked.
yeah, well, I'm glad you liked it.
So, I mean, and the other thing too is those broadheads are fucking wicked. I think
it was the G5s.
Yeah, the G5 Mega Meats, which I think I sent you that picture, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That thing was a freaking.
That
was a hole.
Was a hellacious hole from a mechanical.
Yeah.
You'll get stuff like that out of a big fixed blade sometimes.
Sure.
But out of a mechanical, that is wicked.
And now you were saying, so when you went down, I'd thrown in some of the Whack'ems, and we had those other broadheads, Swackers, right?
Yeah.
And so you chose to go with the G5s because I don't remember what you said, that like the Whack'em's not that's not a mechanical. It's a fixed blade, I believe.
Yeah, it's a fixed. I think it's.
Is it 4 or 3?
I think it's a 3. It may be 4.
Okay. Either way. But it's a fixed 100 grain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fixed blade, 100 grain broadhead. The Swackers are mechanicals. But I don't know. I've always heard mixed things about the Swacker broadheads.
Yeah.
I hear that some people absolutely love them, and it's a hill that they will die on, that they're the best broadheads ever made.
Sure.
And other people say they're absolutely terrible.
Sure. I hate Rage.
Yeah.
I think the Whack'ems were better before Fairdyne bought them.
Yeah.
When they were truly an independent company and they were made here in the U.S. And then when Fairdyne bought them, like everything else, Fairdyne ruins a great thing.
Yep.
I mean, it sucks, but it's part of who they are.
Right.
And they're making a killing after it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
But again, too, Whack'ems, that's the only now you didn't you tried shooting them, or you tried shooting, what'd you try?
I didn't try shooting those.
Okay.
From when I was doing, all of my arrow building with my compound bow, a lot of fixed blades, you'll run into problems if you don't tune your arrows.
Sure.
Which is obviously going to be a really hard task on a compound bow, and especially on a crossbow, and especially with a Raven, because you can only shoot the Raven bolts that are $80 for a pack.
Yep.
So
but worth it.
Yeah. But I'm not cutting the vanes off of those $80 arrows to sit and play with different insert weights and point weights and arrow stiffnesses to get them to fly straight.
Sure.
I think if you have so when I was doing my compound bow build, I had no vanes on the arrow. It was just a straight arrow shaft.
Sure.
And then you play with different stiffnesses of arrow and different weights at the point. And you basically try to turn it into, instead of the majority of the weight being in the back of the arrow pushing the arrow forward, you want a majority of the weight in the front of the arrow so that weight is pulling the rest of the arrow with it.
Sure.
It makes them penetrate better. It makes them fly better. It makes them better.
Just better.
Just better. And so once you get to that point, then you can start putting, fixed blade broadheads on it, and they fly great because
Sure.
your arrows fly good.
Sure.
Um,
You did the right thing.
right. Like I was telling you, by the time I had those arrows done, it looked like
Mhm.
you were shooting a 22 through paper. Like it was no kicks. It's just a straight, perfect, like hole punch dot through a sheet
Sure.
of paper. And then you can put, big fixed blade broadheads on it.
Yep.
And they fly great.
Sure.
After doing that and seeing how much little change affects how much an arrow truly flies,
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust shooting fixed blades. Just because that profile is always there versus a mechanical that closes down to almost nothing. Granted, then you have to worry about your blades opening. Swacker or rage. Blades not opening. But I've
Passing
always
straight through a deer.
Yeah. Granted, if you've got a folded up chunk of metal and you put it in the right spot, it ain't going to make a difference.
You hope not. You hope not. I agree.
It's not going to make a difference. If you can put that folded up mechanical broadhead through where you're supposed to put it,
Yeah.
the deer's going to die.
Yeah.
And
But
that die is fast.
If you're not, here's my problem. Let's say it's a freaking cold ass day.
Mm-hmm.
And you're out and you're shooting these mechanicals and they freeze up. Right. And let's say that on impact, one of them opens and the other doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what happens? Now the flight trajectory of that bow or of that bolt is going up or going down or missing vital or who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to dissuade anybody. If you shoot mechanicals, great. If you shoot fixed, great. Again, it goes down to whatever you're the most comfortable making a shot with ultimately is what the driving factor is. Yeah. Doesn't matter if the name says Swacker or the name says, honey
kills every time. Doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna, if that's what you're comfortable shooting, then that's what you're going to have the best success with.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the difference there comes into when you start getting into some of the really heavy fixed blade broadheads.
Yes.
Like the big, 250 grain single beveled solid steel broadheads.
Yep. That are $400 for one,
Those ain't going anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
But you have to build an arrow to it.
Right.
Which is what I was in the process of doing because those broadheads on like a 40-pound bow, if you build it right, that arrow will go straight through a scapula. It'll go straight through. You don't have to worry about, the deer's kind of quartering towards me, so I got to aim a little bit further back and try to hopefully get a piece of the lump. Nope, you just put it through the front shoulder and let it go.
Right, yeah.
And it goes straight through.
Yeah, and that's what, like, Cameron Haynes, have you seen some of his fixed, he's got a 230 that he elk hunts with?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, I watched a guy, so when I was learning about all this stuff, I watched a guy that, to prove his point, took a 40-pound compound bow, like a youth compound bow, built arrows for it, put a big, heavy broadhead on the front of it, took it to Africa and killed a Cape buffalo with it.
Sure. Without a doubt.
I was like, if you can kill a Cape buffalo with a 40-pound draw weight compound bow, with, following this method of getting this to fly right, getting this to fly right, running this kind of broadhead, you can kill anything on the planet.
Oh, 100%.
With
Ted,
that.
Uncle Ted says that all the time.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I think he said the max draw weight that he hunts with now is like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Might be 60. I don't want to quote him wrong, but it's, I mean, a 50-pound draw, cool. And his wife hunts with I think he said like a 40-pound draw or 30-pound draw, something like that.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, if the man can say it. Now, there's other people say, well, I can pull back, 90. So I'm going to shoot 90. All right, cool, man.
Cool.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to what you're most comfortable with. If you work out with that every day and you can shoot it and you're comfortable with shooting it, good on you.
Well, I think the other big thing too is shot distances, especially with bows and even with rifles. I watched somebody was talking about it, oh, well, I can shoot my bow out to 80 yards.
So can I. Doesn't mean it's going to be deadly.
Right. I mean, you could.
Right.
Probably shouldn't.
Yep.
And I watched somebody's argument. It was like, oh, well, Cameron Haynes is shooting elk at like 90 yards.
That's an elk.
He's also a professional bow hunter.
Yep.
That's what he does.
Yep.
He does that full time every day. He is shooting that bow at 90 yards to be proficient with it. He's shooting that bow at 150 yards.
Yeah,
to be proficient at 90.
At 90. Yeah. Have you seen his shooting regiment?
It's insane. Doesn't he shoot like 200 or 400 something arrows a day?
Yeah. And he goes and he runs like 10 miles
I did
before
see that.
he picks up a bow.
Yeah. It's fucking
and
ridiculous.
you're like, so now your heart rate's up, just like you're trying to shoot a deer. Your heart rate's up, you got the shakes, you're trying to keep everything together, and and you're shooting at 90, 100, 200, 100, 120, 100. And I think he goes out to like, he's got a 200-yard setup, but I think he like practices up to like 140 or something.
Yeah. It's something still
It's
ridiculous.
Insane. It's absolutely insane. So,
but yeah, I mean, you're not a professional bow hunter.
Nope. And if you think you are,
right. You're, it's the same. You're not an MLB pitcher. You're not going out to throw out, you're not starting for the Orioles this weekend just because you can throw a baseball.
Right.
Cool,
Absolutely.
dude. A lot of people can throw baseballs.
Yep.
Not many people can throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
And put it within a,
and put it inside the freaking strike zone.
Right. Or put it anywhere you want to put it.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
There's the key.
Right.
When you throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, that's going to go really high and it's going to go really tight, and you're going to just come close to cutting that freaking elbow, but you're not going to actually hit them.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah, it's all stuff to
I'll agree with you.
Ponder your head on, but
yeah, I think it's cool though. And, like I said, Cameron Haynes is this epic hunter, and he's got all these great, I'm not knocking the guy. It's really cool what he does, but that's why I like watching, Uncle Ted there, when Ted Nugent comes out with something, that's more my style. I mean, Ted Nugent hunts like nobody's business, but Ted Nugent is a rock star and, has, a million things going on, and a granddad and family and all this other stuff. So that's kind of more my speed.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the guy that I'm closely related to, so, minus the rock star stuff. So, I mean, if he can go out there with 50, with a 50 and smoke whatever he's smoking, cool. But I still think that Raven is a game changer, hands down. I mean,
it's wicked.
And that is truly 100-yard.
That broadhead is freaking wicked.
Yeah. At 100 yards, that bow is deadly.
Oh, yeah,
so,
I believe it. Absolutely believe it.
So, I don't know, man. I just, I'm glad you got to get out and got to use it. And I'm glad that you got got at least one of the deer, and hopefully you unlocked a second buck with that one, didn't you?
So I unlocked my second buck tag with that. More importantly, filled up the freezer.
Yeah, there you go.
Super excited to get that back.
Yeah. You found a processor too. That's like right down the street.
I say he's right next to you. Super cool guy. He even told me, he was like, "Yeah, man, if you end up shooting one night or something, you need to drop it off." He's like, "Just bring it inside and just put it in the cooler." He's like, "I leave these doors unlocked. So you just come in here, just drag it into the cooler." And he's like, "Fill out one of these tags with your name and number and what you want done with it, just like I did here, and then just put a tag on it." And he's like, "You don't even have to hang it. You just leave it on the floor right there. I'll do it in the mornings." And I was like,
Jesus.
okay. That's like, cool, dude. But yeah, I think
That's
I got
cool as hell.
back straps, obviously. I think I'm getting, they take 12.5 pounds and do snack sticks. And he said by the time they mix it and everything, put all the stuff in it, it'll come back as, he said, probably 28 to 29 pounds of snack sticks. I was like, holy shit.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Okay. And then just getting everything else ground. That way we can use it for, whatever you want. Spaghetti, tacos, whatever you want to use it with.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Allie did it.
That guy, too. I never thought of this. We've done it a few times. Dad and I have done that a few times of mixing it with pork fat or something like that to give it a little
Beef
bit of fat
whatever,
content.
Yeah.
And that guy, he goes, you want me to mix the grind with beef fat? I was like, oh, you'll do that for me?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's like, I'll do beef fat or pork fat. I was like, beef fat. Yeah, absolutely do that.
Yep, 100%.
So he's going to mix it with beef fat. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
now, what is this? You told me about, they have something else that they got going on out there, though. He doesn't do this full time.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a weird place, not going to lie.
A little sketch, huh?
It kind of looked like I don't want to say like a co-op, but kind of looked like a co-op.
All right.
Like there's some like hay bales in the corner. There's like a few pieces of like cattle fence over on the side.
Okay.
And then there's a sign on the front that's like, oh, if you're here for the deer processing, just come around the backside of the building.
Okay.
I was like, all right. So I pull around the backside of the building. There's like two guys out there like power washing some fences off.
Parking in rear.
Like, what in the hell is going on? Get out of the truck, and the guy comes walking out. I was like, hey, are you guys still taking deer? Oh, yeah, bring them over here to the double doors. Okay. Back my truck up, open the tailgate, him and I grab it and drag it inside, put it in the cooler, and come walking back out, and he's like, all right, what do you want done with it? I was like, started looking at the sheet, and he's like, I don't even have a cut sheet. He's like, I'll cut it, however you want it. If you want different steaks or roasts or whatever. He's like, I don't even have a sheet for that because there's so much.
Right.
He's like, just tell me what you want and I'll do it.
Right. That's cool.
And I was like, hell yeah.
And it was good price too. So that's
it's not crazily overpriced. And of course they do all the Hunters for the Hungry program too in Virginia.
Yep. You donate part of the deer
nice.
to them. Yeah.
I was talking to Dad about this, and in Missouri they have the same concept. They donate the venison to a food bank or wherever they donate it to.
Yeah, Uncle Ted
set
that up.
You still pay it's not a processing fee, but it's kind of like an admin fee to do it. And I mean, it's minuscule. It's $15-$20, whatever it is.
Sure.
But the state of Virginia, as long as you field dress the deer, drop it off, it's completely free. I was like, oh,
that's crazy.
I was like, that's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah.
Hold on. I was like, wait a second. Virginia actually did something that made sense. What's happening?
Yeah, I'm guessing that they had help.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
Somebody came up with that.
But
no, I'm
I
just saying
thought that
they
was
had help
nice,
to come up with
especially
that.
in some of these counties with the super overpopulated deer herd.
Yep.
I was talking to my buddy because where we were hunting unlimited doe tags. You just go buy more. And I was like, what do you think the county record is for most deer killed in a single season? And he's like, oh, one of my buddies one year killed 104.
Jesus.
I was like, huh?
Yep.
Huh?
That's killing for the sake of killing.
I was like, oh my God. And that guy's, he's got permission on different HOAs that basically have him as a contracted killer to come out and exterminate the deer herd.
Yep.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah. There's a guy who does that out at Dulles Airport.
Yeah. I mean, he shoots his does, and then he also shoots 190-inch buck every year.
Sure.
That's like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yep.
It's like
in Virginia.
That's insane.
Yeah, we
It's like, oh yeah, I've had this buck on camera for 9.5 years. It's like, what? It's like, dude.
Jesus. Yeah, you don't have to worry, you have to worry about him getting hit by a freaking car more than any.
Right, yeah. I say attacked by somebody's dog and scared off before you got to worry about somebody else shooting it.
Yeah, and your dad said that I am a rock star.
I saw that.
Yeah. Much love.
Shit.
And but so that the other thing I was gonna tell you about is, so you got your deer.
Yep.
And Oslo tried to kill 3 hunters that were on my property.
I heard that. What happened with that?
So, me and Oslo were taking a little trip down in the back part of our property, and I was really just kind of, wanting to kind of stretch his legs, stretch my legs, see what's down there, see what's what. And
Yeah.
I've got some game cameras around and stuff, but and he was on a trail because we had a bear that came through. So he was just trailing the bear. It gives him something to do. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. We'll just trail a bear. Why not?
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? I was smart about it though. I went armed, so I'm good. And then we're going along, and he's trailing really well. And you get that sound, and and I'm like, oh, he's on it now. And then he all of a sudden he kind of lifts his head up, and then it's a beeline. And we get up, and I hear him start this low growl. And I've heard that maybe a handful of times from him, and none of it is good.
Right.
It typically is like when we pull up to the 7-Eleven and there's people around my truck and I go inside. It's a bad day.
Yeah.
So come to find out, there's these 3 guys that are sitting there, and they tried to tell me that, oh yeah, we got permission to hunt. And I said, oh yeah, who gave you the permission? And the guy looked over at his buddy looked down, and I mean, you could see they had Onyx up. And it looks down, and it's like, Mike Tippin. Oh yeah, cool. All right. He gave you permission to hunt here. Yep. When did he do that? Kind of going through the whole thing. And meanwhile, Oslo's ready to eat their face.
Right. Yeah.
So, I let him go on to see how long they were going to lie to me. And then I said, look, man, I said, I know you're lying. I'm Mike Tippin. I've never given you permission to hunt on my property, and no one else around here has given you permission. And I know that. So, and I'm trying to be nice to him. Look, if you wanted to hunt my property, come knock on my door. I'm good with that. Just knock on my door and ask.
Right.
If I've got other hunters that are hunting it, then I'm going to say no. But if I don't have other hunters that are out there hunting and you want to hunt it, I know how hard it is to find a place to hunt. I'm okay with that. I get it. Come hunt. I'm good. As long as you ask me.
Right.
Come knock on my door, and I'll give you written permission to be on my property. Yep. You don't have written permission, you didn't get it from me. So anyway, long story short, they decided that they were going to continue to lie. I told them, look, man, I am who I am. You need to get your property, I said, how many tree stands? Because I managed to eke out before I told them who I was. How many tree stands y'all put up? And they had 3 tree stands. I said, and then afterwards I told them, I said, I'll give you the opportunity to get your 3 tree stands down. Just get them down and leave. And they threatened to call the police for hunter harassment on my property. And I'm like, you are out of your mind. I said, I tell you what, I'll call the police. I'll call them. I'll have you trespassed, but I'm giving you an opportunity to take your stands and go somewhere else. So, unfortunately, Oslo didn't get the opportunity to eat their face, but man, he was ready to go.
Should have let him. He'd have loved it.
Oh yeah. Old boy was ready. I mean,
had a great time with that.
It was, it would have been fun. So, but it is what it is. So
good times.
Well, that's about everything that I got to talk about tonight.
I say we were planning on 30 minutes. We just hit 59. So
damn, that ain't bad.
We did pretty good, I think.
Yeah. And
good enough.
On a busy day too. So, and we got to hear from the famous Rob Jackson.
That's right. Yeah. Fancy.
Yeah. So I'll take that.
How lucky are we?
We are we are beyond lucky.
Shit.
So, but the boat needs to get washed. So, next time you come down, we're going to have a boat washing party.
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right, Captain. Shout out to Percy.
Well, cool, man. I got nothing else.
I'm all good. Cool. I am rounds complete.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I'll be here next week. Yep.
All right, man.
See y'all next week. Go get in the tree
everybody.
stand, shoot a deer, If you're a veteran, go shoot a duck this weekend.
Right?
If you need a
Have
place
fun.
to go, if you're a veteran, you need a place to go, call me.
It'll be fun.
That's all I got. All right.
Cool.
See ya.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Hunting Quest. No matter how crazy, high-tech, or lazy the rest of the country gets, we will always be hunting and fishing. If that's you, you've found your new family. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. Reach out to us by email at info@thehuntingquest.com. And check us out on Instagram and YouTube at The Hunting Quest. See you next time.